Very quickly before we start, I made a video on beginner voice acting stuff there. If you click that, it will tell you essentially how to get into online voice acting. So if you haven't watched that, do that first, then watch this video, because this video will help you a lot after you've watched that video. Okay, awesome. Peace, let's start. Bye. What is up, my beautiful weebs? It is me, CDawgVA. How are you all doing today? And today, I feel like I should give you guys some advice. You know, I get asked a lot of questions about voice acting, and I think it's every now and then I should make a video with some advice or some help so that I don't have to keep telling people the same thing over and over again. I could just send them this video. So these are 5 tips That's 4. These are 5 tips I strongly recommend to all new voice actors. And if you're an experienced voice actor, then you can still use these things. You probably are doing most of these things anyway. So yeah, let's start it off. One of the most questions I get asked is how to do more impressions or better impressions. And the thing is, you want to keep in mind is that voice acting and impressions, although they are very similar, they aren't the same thing. Impressions are a party trick that you might do for a friend. Say, hey, I can do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Yeah, it's so fucking awful. Like that's an impression. That's not acting. I'm not portraying a character and putting myself in their shoes. A lot of brand new voice actors, all they do is do impressions, fan dubs, all that kind of stuff. And although impressions can help you, and they most likely will help you if you're new, it's important to remember that they're not always the right thing to do. When you're doing impressions or you're doing a fan dub or anything like that, most of the time you'll be copying what the other person has said word for word. The inflection, the tone, the pitch, the delivery, literally everything down to a T. And all that shows is that you're good at mimicking. It doesn't show you're a good actor. You won't understand the whole process of deciding why should the character sound like this? Why should I put the inflection here? Why would this character react in such a dramatic way to this thing? And when you do an original character, you're doing all of that yourself. You're figuring out, okay, why is this character inflection really weird at this point? Why has this character got this little quirk with his voice? I'm figuring out that myself, and then that's the important part, applying that to the character. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't do impressions. That's not what I'm saying, because I mean, if you look at my channel, all of my channel is impressions. I'm saying that when you want to do the real voice acting side and you want to really voice act, that you should be going for original characters and trying to actually flesh out those characters and bring them to life. So if you want to be a better voice actor, don't just exclusively do impressions. Do more than that. Do a lot of original work. Try things out of your comfort zone that aren't impressions, and you will be surprised when you start to improve a lot quicker. I just want to quickly say before I end this point that impressions by all means are not bad. They're fantastic a lot of the time. For example, if I want to give an original character to a voice, most of the time, and most actors will use a base voice of someone else's impression, or maybe their own impression they've done for another voice, and then work off that. Change little things, change the inflection, the pitch, the tone of that base voice. So, for example, with Sebastian, his voice is very high-pitched, it's very British, you know. And for a lot of other characters that use very similar style of Sebastian, like Kyoya from Ouran High School Host Club, you want to take that Sebastian voice, but then you want to understand, okay, how is this bass voice going to be different for this character and why? So for Kyoya, I want to make the accent a little more American and a little slowed down, you know, and really emphasize the difference in the character. But the character is different, and the voice is different, but you're using that impression of that character to base it off of. So to summarize that point, impressions aren't bad, but you should be focusing more on doing original characters. My second point is improving and how you should be focusing on that like your life depends on it. Just me saying improve is very broad and could mean a lot of things, so allow me to explain. Basically, you should always be looking to improve through either auditioning, critiquing yourself or others, watching other voice actors and trying to learn from them, workshops, online videos like this one. Anything you can do to think or help yourself improve is crucial. The professionals in the industry, the best of the best, are still always looking to improve. You have to. You have to look on how you can improve every performance you've ever done, ever. If you can't look back at a performance and figure out what you could do better, then you are failing your job. Every time you submit an audition or your lines for a project, or you finish a project and you see the finished product, you want to be focusing on what you did right and what you did wrong, or what you could have done better. Workshops are also fantastic if you want to improve. I know there's a bunch of online ones and in-person ones. I would recommend you go to the in-person ones a bit more though, but I'm told that Crispin Freeman's workshops online are very good, so by all means check those kind of things out. Make sure before you sign up to one of these workshops that the voice actor or director even is a professional and knows what they're doing. Check out their previous work, check out their training and whatnot. That's really important because there are a lot of scams online. Another way to improve is having the mindset of the critic always. Whenever you're watching a film, TV, any of your auditions, any projects your friends have been in, you've been in, you want to always be listening and thinking, right, what is good about their performance? What could be improved? What are they lacking? How could you improve their performance? And even if you're watching something like The Simpsons, just think, okay, why is the voice actor doing well? What's good about this performance? And then try and incorporate that into your own voice and your own projects. And you'll notice pretty quickly that you'll be better at critiquing your own stuff as well as others. My next point is extremely important, and it's extremely important to any new voice actor to understand this. Hell, even if you're an experienced voice actor, you still might be trying to do this. That is figuring out your voice. When you first start out, by all means, audition for literally everything. Find what you're good at. You might be good at narrating, you might be good at crazy, eccentric British characters, you might be good at really strong, gruff guys, yeah. You might be good at really high-pitched boys or girls, anything like that. You need to figure out what your niche is, what your talent is, what your area is, what you should be going for. And eventually over time, when you see a project, you'll be able to straight away pick which characters your voice will suit. Now, how do you do this? How do I go about figuring out finding my voice? Well, it's mainly all experimentation and getting roles with the voices and seeing what works best. If I tried to voice act as a female, not only would it sound awful, the acting would not be believable because I've never really practiced that, and I imagine I can't even get close to hitting the right notes I need to. But if you asked me to act in a British accent, then by all means I could easily do that for you. And that's how I get most of my roles. It's for the stuff that I'm good at. It's okay being a one-trick pony. And allow me to dispel the belief that if you only use one voice, then you are a one-trick pony, because, I mean, that's not true at all. Some of the most successful voice actors are people who only ever use one voice. So if for some reason you can only do your natural speaking voice, that's fine. Just master acting in that voice and you will be completely fine. When you're practicing these voices, ask people for help. Ask people to critique your performance. Ask them if it was believable. Did you sound like the character was believable? Was your acting believable? All this stuff you need to make sure you're doing so that you can actually figure out what you're good at and what you should be auditioning for things with. So you need to figure out, okay, what ranges can I get that sound believable? And 2, what ranges can I comfortably act in? My 4th point is the demo reel, and more importantly, what to do and what not to do with it. A good indication, I'd say, of when you should make a demo reel is if you've been doing it for a year or 2. I wouldn't recommend making a demo reel if you haven't been doing this for a year. That's online. If you're a vocal coach or you've been doing tons of workshops and the people who are running them are telling you that you should be making a demo reel, then by all means do that. But if you're just doing online work, then don't get a demo reel if you haven't been doing this for at least a year, because you probably won't have found your natural talents yet. You won't have found what you're good at, most likely, because I always find things every now and then that I'm good at and it surprises me. But if you're an experienced voice actor or you've been doing this for a while and you really, really want to make a demo reel, then I can't stop you. All I can do is give you my advice and what not to do. First off, please don't make the demo reel longer than 1 minute 30. No one ever will listen to a demo reel that's over 1 minute 30. I promise you, they won't. It's also extremely important to start your demo off with your natural speaking voice. You can introduce the demo with your natural speaking voice, or the first character can be using your natural speaking voice, but whatever you do, the first one has to be your natural speaking voice. Other things to really keep in mind when you're making a demo reel is that 2 amazing voices are better than 10 meh ones, you know? So if you're making a demo reel and you know you struggle with certain pitches or certain characters, then just don't include them. Include the ones you are 100% confident in and that you believe you could easily do an amazing performance in. Because if I'm listening to a demo reel and your first 5 performances have been amazing, and then the last one you put in was kind of meh, I would doubt your ability as a voice actor. I would think, why can't they tell that that was kind of average, or why that was kind of meh, you know? and that's what a casting director might think. So you can't be putting in characters or voices or pitches that you're not comfortable acting in, okay? If you want to make a demo reel, then go ahead, but listen to those points, please. A lot of people make these mistakes all the time, and they're really easy mistakes that you shouldn't be making. My fifth and final point for this episode, I might do another one in future, we'll see how much demand there is for one, is your natural speaking voice, and more importantly, how you have to get used to it, and you have to enjoy listening to it. A lot of new voice actors tell me straight away they hate listening to their own voice, they can't stand it, they never want to voice act in their own voice, and that's not good. That's bad. And that's because your acting is only ever going to be best as it is in your natural speaking voice. And being able to listen to your natural speaking voice and be able to have a clear mind and critique it properly is essential. If you're never listening to your own natural speaking voice, then you won't really understand what you should be going for when you're voice acting and what that might sound like. So you have to, 1, be extremely comfortable listening to your own voice and knowing what you can do to improve it. And then 2, you have to be extremely comfortable acting in your own voice. There's no point trying to voice act in other characters unless you've mastered your own speaking voice and acting in it. Trust me, every professional will tell you that. If you learn how to properly act in your natural speaking voice, acting in other characters will become extremely exponentially easier. I guarantee you that. So the next time you want to really improve as a voice actor, just grab some scripts and try and doing them in your natural voice. Ask a friend to help you out. Really understand your voice and the mechanics behind it and how you can use it to your advantage. And if you really want to get better at voice acting, way better than all the new people, you want to be doing this. A lot of people don't do this, and it's crazy. I made the mistake of not doing this as well, and I regretted it. I wasted so much time trying to act in other voices before mastering my own. And that's my final point for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope some of these points helped you. And if you're an experienced voice actor, I still hope they help you, but let me know what other points I missed down below, or what else I should talk about next time, or if you had a different opinion on some of these points, let me know down below. I'm really interested to see. I will see you beautiful people next week.